Hey guys, it's Katie. Thanks for stopping by my channel. It's June 10th today and we're going to do a garden walkthrough. There's some things I need to do, but I wanted to show you what it looked like before I did them. So we're going to harvest some lettuce and pull out some things that I let go to seed. And I got to harvest a whole bunch of stuff because we were gone for the weekend. It's going to be hot this weekend, probably our first like full sun weekend in a while. So I got to make sure I water, but with all the sunshine we should get a lot of growth this week. So anyway, this is what it looks like this morning. Behind me is my fig tree. If you've been watching my garden videos for a while, or if you want to go back and look, I originally got this fig tree from Costco. It was like a 2-pack, and it was literally like this small. It came in a little thing. It looked like an egg carton. That's how much soil was with it. It was a tiny little thing, but it's grown up really big. I actually pruned it back this year. It's given us fruit the last couple of years. And it's only one out of the 2 survived, but I have some other fig trees, and we're rooting some, so we got figs all over the property. I get tons of figs, so we'll see that probably in August, as I'll show you the figs. But anyway, we got sugar snap peas to harvest, lettuce to harvest, and everything else is just getting started as far as the tomatoes. I do have some peppers, but they came on the plant, so I count that as cheating. When I bought the transplants, they had the peppers on them, so I don't know. I think that's not really, I didn't grow those. But they're doing okay, so I'll show you those too, okay? Every time I go back and look at the footage of my garden tours, the footage isn't great because I can't really see very well in the viewfinder in the bright sun. I also don't really want to show my neighbors' houses or my house, just for privacy for my neighbors, you know? But we'll do the best we can. This is my daughter's garden. She's got these Easter lilies. They're just the ones from the grocery store. Transplant them. I have some in the front of the house too. And she picked up some garlic chives. They went all over my flower garden, so she just transplanted some of those. She's got gladiolus in the corner. Those came from the Dollar Tree. They've been blooming wonderfully for years now, so Dollar Tree stuff grows perfectly fine. We get the seeds there, we get the bulbs sometimes. And then this is her Shasta daisy. She's been watching it, anticipating it. She put it in last year. It did not flower, but it's perennial. It's come back like gangbusters, and I mean, it's really close to being in full bloom, so that's really exciting for her. Here's my first bed. Got this lettuce here, and then I planted this a little bit behind, and this is black-seeded Simpsons, my favorite lettuce. I have some open spots here, but this is the shadiest bed, so that's why the lettuce is here. It gets shaded first before it gets too sunny, because lettuce is a little sensitive to heat. I got 2 Swiss chards here that are just gone to seed, and I was going to let the bees have them, but the bees don't really care for those, at least the honeybees. The native bees are, and other pollinators are loving them, but the honeybees don't really go for the flowers on the Swiss chard. So anyway, we'll see. I might get some seeds, or it might volunteer self-seed. Some radishes there. And then I have 2 Swiss chards here. I get the Oriole ones from Baker Creek, so I can get the yellows, my favorite. But then, you know, I have a Swiss chard here that's red in one of those variety packs. I put some onion sets here just to kind of fill in. I had more radishes, but I pulled them out, but I have a big open space here. I might put something else. I want to put some zucchini. I have most of everything I want for the year planted, but not zucchini. So I was waiting for it to warm up. Another Swiss chard that's from last year. Flowered and fell. It's tomatillos. I got 3 tomatillos, so there's 2 here. I got these as a 3-pack, and I put them in this cage thinking that it was overkill, but I think it's just right. It's a large cage, and they're doing really good and starting to flower. I don't know if there's any fruit. Oh yeah, there's a fruit. If you can see it. Like I said, I can't see the viewfinder, so I just point the camera. I put potatoes here. These are grocery store potatoes. They grew. They did well. I mounded up the soil here. We'll see. You know, if I get 2 or 3 potatoes, that's fine. The potatoes I put in here, I would have just thrown in the compost or thrown away anyway, because they were so far beyond. I have no problem taking eyes off potatoes and you know, cooking them, but these were like almost desiccated. And then to hold the soil back, I just had this. It's like a broken tomato cage, but it was, you know, the holes are too big. So I took this I had this in the compost. These are kale flower stalks, but I thought I could just like weave it in there to make more of a fence. So there'll probably be a lot of volunteer kale here soon. Here's my sugar snap peas. Well, they're supposed to be sugar snap peas. They're ones that I saved myself, and a lot of them look like, almost all of them look just like snow peas. And sugar snap peas are a hybrid of snow peas, so I don't know. Yeah, I have a lot to pick. You have to pick pretty much every day, and the more you pick, the more they grow. So I don't know if these reverted or if I did not do a great job marking my self-saved seeds. Also, the flowers have this like pink blush to them that I don't remember them having. So I'm not sure what I did. I'm not the best at like record keeping. But yeah, these are really good. And usually I just grow enough to like snack on, but I put a ton in here because again, they were self-saved seeds. I didn't know how well they would come up. And I put them on the outside of this trellis, but then they kind of went this way. So the morning sun comes this way. So I don't know if they were going for the morning sun or what. But I've had to tie them back. Let's see if you can see. So I have this twine because they were laying on the pathway here. But they're doing pretty good. They're actually growing pretty tall up the trellis. Usually they stop at a certain point, but I think that's because I planted them too late in previous years. Yeah, but you can see they're almost all the snow peas, the little flat ones. I like them just the same, so it's no big deal for me. On this side, I planted purple potted beans. I don't know exactly what they're called. I got them from Baker Creek a few years ago, and I saved them. I just call them purple beans. But they have started to tendril up. Actually, before I left for my trip on Friday, I just pulling these, and you can see how much they've come up, like 5 or 6 inches up the trellis. There's a few that have fallen down since I watered. They'll have to pull back up, keep them up off the ground. You know, it saves space in the garden. It also keeps them from getting, you know, insects and stuff. Here I have some radishes. There's quite a bit of insects. You see insect damage here, and then the older leaves of the beans. Something came through and ate a bunch, but the newer leaves on the beans look better. And I don't eat the greens of the radish. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I put them in soup, but that's fine. They're still growing. Here's my bell peppers. You can see these are the ones I said they came with bell peppers on them. That one's just loaded down. And usually when there's flowers on a transplant, I take them off to give the plant a chance to get nice and big before it flowers and fruits. But these already, I mean, they were already full on bell peppers. And it doesn't seem like, I mean, they're kind of small, but it doesn't seem like they're struggling because they're small. More radishes here. Here's kale I've let gone to seed. And you see the pods are turning yellow and brown, and they'll be, you know, ready to harvest the seeds, and then I'll pull this out. Partially I leave things to seed for the bees, partially to save seeds, and partially to kind of reserve space in my garden, otherwise I fill it up. This is a ground cherry. This is an okra. There's another ground cherry back there. And let's see, on this side, I did put one zucchini. I think it's zucchini. It's either zucchini or like a yellow squash. I don't remember. I meant to plant a lot more, but they didn't come up, and then I didn't replant, and I don't know what this is, so whatever. Usually one plant should be enough if it survives. I don't have not great luck with zucchini. Surprisingly, that's the one thing people always grow in gangbusters. Here's, I pulled some kale out of here. It looked like this, all gone to seed. And this little one was, I don't know if it was shaded because of the other ones, or if it's from dropped seed. But it grew and it looks lovely, so I left it. I have some basil here. Here's a tomato I started from seed. These are from M.I. Gardner. They're called Mexico Midgets. So I think they're nice sturdy plants. You know, little dwarf plants meant for containers or something. But I like these better than the ones that like vine out of control. A couple more yellow Swiss chards here. These also had a lot of damage, but the new growth is growing in lovely. This kale, I just threw some seeds here and it's gone crazy. I haven't harvested too much of it because I've been, you know, when these plants grow, you can still pull the leaves off, so I've been using those before the plants completely revolt. So I haven't pulled this, but I'm probably going to pull a bunch of this and put it in the freezer. Why not? Here is cilantro, and I let it go to seed. I don't know if you can see how many bugs are on it. Not honeybees, though. The honeybees haven't really messed with it, so. But that's okay. They make the little coriander seeds, so I have saved seeds for planting, but also you can use them just like coriander seeds. And it's all fallen over, but that's okay. Again, this will help reserve some space. Here's the third tomatillo. It's also flowering, but I don't see fruit. Oh, yeah, maybe down there. You see it? So yeah, I love tomatillos. I like salsa verde and some, you know, different recipes. but they're an interesting thing. But they're good to grow. They're just like, they grow similar to tomatoes, so if you have luck with tomatoes, try tomatillos, they're fun. And then this was supposed to be the snow peas, but then the other ones are mostly snow peas. These I put in later, and so they're just starting to flower. I picked this small area, and I just got, they're in my pocket still. I'll show you. This is what I picked. So these ones are just starting to flower, and the little ones I left on. But the arch is really going gangbusters, and then this should be right behind. The peas don't last so long in the heat. Here I put 3 more of those Mexico midget tomatoes, so I need to cage them. I was kind of thinking these would be up and out. I don't know if it's so much the temperature or just the age of the plant, but they will fade pretty quickly. So yeah, I think I didn't time these right. I should have put these in first, and then the arch, and then the tomatoes would have more room, but that's okay. And I was also kind of thinking I might just trellis them up the arch when I take the peas off. I might just have to throw some cages down here. Here's some more peppers. These are sweet peppers, like those little snacker kind of peppers. So yeah, these peppers were already on the plants as well. I think this one has one as well. You can see the pepper there. This is the one. I pulled all the flowers off of it. So yep. Well, maybe it was this one. I don't know. One of these did not have peppers, so at least one of these peppers is from my work. These look really good. Even though the plant's kind of small, that's okay. I'd rather it be small and manageable than out of control and falling over. More kale seeds here. And then more dead Swiss chard. And then this is dill that's planted itself for, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years at this point. I've had these gardens in this yard for at least 15 years. Not this iteration, but I've been gardening in this yard, so there's volunteers coming every which way. This was my perennial bed. I usually put garlic in that end and asparagus in this end, and I just put a few crowns of asparagus thinking that I would divide them, and it's just, I should have just put the effort into doing an asparagus bed properly. So I thought, oh, they'll grow and then I'll divide them, but first of all, I didn't divide them, and then when I did divide them, I didn't know what I was doing, so usually I get like one spear at a time, and it's not, I'm like, oh, I'll wait for another one, and then, I don't know. They don't ever actually get to our plate. Sometimes we pick them and just eat them raw. Sometimes I put them in a stir fry if I have 2 or 3. You can see one coming up there too, but they come like one at a time. And what do you do with one asparagus at a time? Yeah, that's a good question. This is tarragon. I did put this, my mom gave this to me, and I don't have room in my herb garden right now because my oregano is taking over. And so I just put it here just so that it didn't die, because this is the second one she's given me, and the first one I didn't have room for it, and I just let it die in the pot. Here's a few garlic from last year that I didn't harvest, or I missed them and they just grew up. And then I put more garlic in, but it was sat out over the winter on my back porch, so it was sprouting, but it might have been dead. You see, I put them in the dirt, but they've worked their way up. Anyway, this is grocery store garlic anyway. I want to get some hardneck garlic so I can have scapes, so whatever. I've just been replanting it because I have it, so this will give me an excuse to buy the variety that I want. Alright, so this mulched area, I have extended it just a little bit here, and this is a new blueberry. I just got this one. It's a pink lemonade variety, so it makes little pink blueberries, which are so cute. My brother had a bush like this, and it grew really well for him. And I don't know if you can tell what's new growth, but like all this and this is all new growth. This is the older growth, so it's really put on new growth since I put it in here. I bought this on Mother's Day. I went to the nursery with my mom, and I bought this, and so it's grown a lot in just 2 months. 1 month. May? Yes, Mother's Day is in May. So 1 month, it's put on a lot of new growth, so that's encouraging. These are spaghetti squash. It's from grocery store seeds, so they're not going crazy. I have a third mound over in the back of the strawberry bed. I'll show you. It's growing a lot better, so I'm not sure. It's in better soil over there, so maybe that's why. It's also from the same grocery store spaghetti spaghetti squash. Here's my regular blueberry bush. I've been getting blueberries off of this for a few days now. There's lots more still to pick. You can find my little snake. Oh, these are the little plastic snakes that we put in here to keep the birds. They do a pretty good job considering it's, you know, a non-invasive and not really, you know, there's no repeated cost or application. It's just plastic snakes. It does a good job. They're really getting really big. The plant's getting big and the blueberries are really big, so that's nice to see. One more blueberry back there. This one and this one were put in 2 years after this one, and they've grown a lot, so hopefully this will be like a hedge of blueberries eventually. Here's my pathetic apple tree. I've had this apple tree for more than 10 years. Never got a single apple off of it. Usually it gets rust spots, and it just, I mean, the fact that this is even an apple on this tree is a new development in the last few years. But yeah, we got apples about this size, and then something ate them. I think a groundhog came through. So we'll see if I ever get an apple in my life. My son always jokes that he's gonna own an apple orchard when he grows up. Like that's what he wants to be when he grows up. Own an apple orchard that the whole family can live on and we can all work on. We like to go to the pick your own farms. So I think that's what he's thinking it's gonna be like. It'd be cool if it happens. Here's fig tree 2 that I've showed you so far. This is an Italian honey fig. This one was pruned back a lot, and it's grown back a lot. Doesn't give very much figs, but it also hasn't had the best luck overwintering. So this year we do have figs already on it. I think last year there was like 1 fig. So the fact that there's, you know, as long as they ripen, there's some more back there. But it's nothing like the other fig I have. I have a Chicago Hardy, and it just gives and gives and gives and gives and gives. I got some peppermint in a pot here. This is a hardy kiwi, and it had a little transplant shock, I think, but it looks like it's doing a lot better now. And then my husband built this thing out of reclaimed bamboo, and it's gonna hopefully go up that. We have another hardy kiwi, but it's the male-female variety, so it's never made fruit. This is supposed to be a hybrid that doesn't need another plant, so we'll see. That'd be cool. We got grapes on this trellis. The grapes are starting to get nice and plump. These are mostly for the birds, and my daughter eats them. We don't do much with the grapes. We have Concord grapes and we have Chambourcin grapes. We have hops coming up here. These we planted a few years ago, and they just come up every once in a while. I'll give you a look at the bees. These are not the bees from my last video. That hive was struggling, and I don't know. This is a garden video, not a bee video, but these are different bees. I bought a nucleus, and this is a new, much stronger, thriving hive. Hopefully I'll be able to split it and have 2 hives going into winter so that I can have, you know, there's a whole manipulation you can do between hives to help both hives succeed. But yeah, my plan is to be sustainable with my bees, so not having to repurchase bees would be excellent for me. So having 2 hives will help me with that. Right. We got the arch here, or trellis. I don't know, I have names for things. My husband calls this his magnum opus because he designed it and thought about it for years before he grew it, but it's growing a Concord grape that his friend gave him. And so it has, you know, a little sentimental value. And it's cute how the grapes just come down through the little latches. And this thing, I mean, this grows like crazy. It'll just grab you. These little tendrils will grab your hair and everything if you walk by. Alright. This was a strawberry bed. I transplanted strawberries, and they did not do great. The transplant was a little bit rough for them, but they have fruited a little bit, and then they're sending out, you can see, runner, like this runner. Look at this runner. This is one runner, and it's going to make a plant here. It's going to make a plant here. It's going to make a plant here, and that's just one runner. This one's got a plant on the end, a plant here, so it's really filling in. I concentrated my efforts to the back end. I mulched it with wood chips. The front end, a lot of the strawberries died, so I threw some, these are radishes, just to use the space. But then, you know, when they come out, I'm going to send a lot of the runners down here, and this will be just for strawberries. But I did put that other spaghetti squash. You can see how much better it's doing. I put mulch back behind here because we have morning glories. You can see there's some coming up there. Morning glories that come here, and we're doing our best to keep them from getting in the garden. So this mulched path helps keep it clear back here, so we're more inclined to come back here and pull the weeds. And I thought that this could maybe go along the path, which kind of defeats the purpose of having the path, I know, but you know, these are the thoughts that you have when you're a gardener. But these are spaghetti squash from a grocery store, saved seeds, and so this plant's doing really good. I want it to go over and then onto path, because I don't want to use up my, you know, the raised beds. You're using every inch you can, and I don't need, you know, good soil in a raised bed for the vine to lay on. I just need it for the plant. So I don't know if it's, it's just better soil, or I don't know that it gets more sun. Honestly, it might even get less sun than those ones over there. But this one's really taken off. There's 2 plants in here. And it's already doing tendrils and growing these nice big leaves. I don't know. We'll see if we ever get a spaghetti squash. And here's some more. See all the runners. So many runners. There's some dandelions in here. The mulch is supposed to help with the moisture control and keep the weeds down, since we don't turn over this bed so much. It's going to just be strawberries. So we won't put annual things in here, so I don't really weed that much. But hopefully the wood chips help. Here I did a similar thing. Put these squash in the back end so that it can go along this mulch path. These are butternut squash from the grocery store. So this is my son's bed. He likes to garden sometimes, so it's a little disjointed. He's got some kale that he also wanted to go to seed, and then he's got a kale up there. I'm telling him he needs to harvest it, but I don't like to harvest for people because I wouldn't want somebody to come out and harvest my stuff, you know, unless I ask him to. Some volunteer dill down here. This is a tomato. I put the tomato in for him, and I put the cage in, and it's also one of those Mexico midgets, so it's doing okay. Here's the green beans that he got from the library. Did a little family activity thing, and we have it growing on this tomato cage. We probably should have done something better. Tons of flowers. So that looks cool. And then he's got, on this tomato cage, he's got sugar snap peas. Let me back out again. And then all that's just weeds. So he had some carrots and radishes, but I think they got gobbled up. Oh, look at that. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so yeah, these are the galvanized beds. We put more in here. There was a fig tree in here. We dug it up to have this area. This is my daughter's bed. She's got a tomato. She planted that. I'm not sure what variety it is. She planted that direct sowed right in there, so it's a little bit small, but it's growing a lot now that it's warm. Some carrot seeds there. I just watered. That's why they're laying down. They should pop up. Basil. Then here she's got sugar snap peas. These were new seeds, so hopefully these are actually sugar snap peas. Here's a transplanted pepper that my husband got from a coworker. It's called an ace pepper, sweet bell pepper. She got the other tomato. She planted 2, they both came up, and she moved one over there. So it was the smaller of the 2, so it doesn't have a cage yet, but hopefully she gets a cage on it soon. That's chamomile, which is super exciting. She had 2 little bundles that we started under the lights, and then when she transplanted them in, she put some more seeds. So in between those 2 bundles you can see more. They're so cute with their little frondy leaves. I think that's all she has in this bed. She transplanted a dill from the strawberry bed. There's also a volunteer. It doesn't look like it's very happy back there. But we have plenty of dill other places. These are all tomatoes that my husband got from his coworker. He started them all and gave all of the extras to my husband. He's built this bamboo and twine contraption. I don't know. He knows the varieties. I don't know the varieties. I know that there's some potato leaf varieties back there. And then there's some cherry tomato varieties. And then these ones are kind of shorter and stumpier. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're even, I know nothing about these tomatoes. He has some peppers here too. And I don't even know if these are sweet or hot. My husband likes growing hot peppers. These ones are hot. This one's a Thai dragon pepper we got at the at it like a community yard sale slash plant sale thing. This one has some cool peppers already growing. And here he's got more tomatoes. These don't have cages. And he's also got potatoes from where I grew tomatoes in this area. Not even in this bed or in this soil, but in this area a couple years ago. So those, again, they're just grocery store potatoes. He's got a bunch of beets in here, and they're actually looking pretty good. You can look down at the soil level and see the beet there. This is a dandelion, just making sure before I pull it. We threw some more carrot seeds in here, just a sprinkling of them. And then, yeah, it's hard, you have to look closely. What's a tomato and what's a potato? They look similar. This is a potato, those are tomatoes. He's got long beans back here. They're gonna go up the twine. Another pepper. Another pepper. I think these were like the extras. He just stuck things where he had room. Got another pepper there. This is the lettuce. Lettuce is looking awesome. This is what I need to harvest because, like I said, we went away for the weekend. I don't want to harvest his things because that's like the best part, you know? But he also works full time, so I'm trying to help him out. So I'm going to harvest this. I think that one and that one might be too far gone. We'll taste it and see. And these other ones, we had a little bit. It's really good. It's like butter crunch. It's a different variety. But Landis Winter. But it's like butter crunch type. So we'll harvest that and enjoy that. And then he's got some carrots here. Another pepper just stuck wherever. So here's some of the figs we've propagated. I think most of these buckets have some kind of growth. Some of these are from the one fig that was down at the end of the yard that we kind of broke up the root to make these different buckets. And then some of these I'll show you how I mulched the area to kind of do an air layering technique. This is all spearmint that just grows here. This has grown here since before we lived here, so it can continue to live here. Here's the other fig. He's big. And I mean, this, I cut it back and I was very hesitant the first few years to prune it back. But you can see this is all new growth. It's very like thick, covered in leaves. Like, it will grow. Once it's established, it will grow. So you can cut it back pretty aggressively. You know, we'll grow back aggressively. We got some figs up there and figs up there. And figs up there. Figs everywhere. Like I said, there's a couple months before they'll be ready. But then what I wanted to show you is here I mulched it pretty thickly. And these lower branches, I just like let them be under the mulch. And then I pulled some of them up and they were rooted. And that's how I got some of those propagations over there. Alright, this last area is my horseradish. It's doing really good. I bought it several years ago and I just stuck it here because I had nowhere else to put it. But this is like the worst part in the yard. It's terrible soil, terrible lighting, terrible everything. It's right against the house, so it's just, I don't really have anything else going here. So I put the horseradish. And last fall I tried to dig it up to harvest some, and it's just, the soil is so hard. It's so hard to dig it up. And I broke a piece of the root off, so I just replanted it to see how much root you needed to make it spread or transplant it out. And a lot of the areas I put a bit of root came up, so I really only put like small chunks, like an inch bit of root, and they came up. So that's good. I'll probably try to do that again in the fall and then transplant it into a bed where I can actually use it. Here I have a lilac. This I just took off a sucker off my main lilac, and it's living there now. I should probably dig it up and gift it to somebody or put it somewhere. I don't have that many corners left to put random lilac bushes, so maybe it'll just live there for now. Maybe if I can get the horseradish to grow somewhere else, then this can just be lilac, because it looks happy there. I can't really do much else because this, like I said, it's horrible soil over here. Alright, so that's it for June's garden tour. You can leave your comments down below. I love to see your garden too, so if you put it on YouTube or Instagram or something, leave your info down in the comments. I would love to see your garden, and I'm sure other people would like to see it too. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye!